Hey Boat Dragons, I'm so glad you've joined me today. I am going to be talking about the next 10 series that I plan to read. Now, not all of these will happen in 2025. I would like to say that I'll get to all of them in 2025, but the likelihood is I probably won't. But I made this list just to make note of the series that I've been wanting to read for a while and that I feel like I should make a priority. So these are the next 10 series that I'm going to be looking at, and we're going to get right to the list here. Let me put my eyes on because I might need those. And I've got my trusty mascot here, Tamarath, so I think we're all set. The first one on this list is the Elric Saga by Michael Moorcock. And I said last year I was going to get to that in 2024, and I haven't touched it. So I really want to make sure that I at least get to this first volume of Elric next year and see what I think of it. I bought these books on a whim. I only knew that Moorcock was really popular, and he came highly recommended. I've never read any of his stuff, so I don't know if I'm going to like it. And I do reserve the right to DNF it, like I do any of these series. I do reserve the right to DNF these, but I do really have high hopes for the Elric Saga, and so I'll be getting to that hopefully in 2025. The next one on this list is a Booktube Darling. Everybody is talking about this series right now. Everybody is just raving about the author, what a wonderful person she is, and the way she interacts with her fans. And I have no doubt that that is the case. I've seen some of her interactions personally. And yes, guys, that would be Janny Wirtz, the author of The Wars of Light and Shadow. So I do want to get to The Wars of Light and Shadow in 2025. At the very least, I want to read the first book, The Curse of the Mistwraith. I also would like to read To Ride Hell's Chasm, because I know that's a standalone, and it's supposed to be a good introduction to her writing, so I may check that out as well. But I really do want to get to The Wars of Light and Shadow, because I've got FOMO, guys. I feel like I'm missing out on all the hype, and I'm just really excited to get to it and try it out. The next one on this list is the Pines trilogy by Blake Crouch. And I've been wanting to read this trilogy for a while. Several years back, I watched both seasons of Wayward Pines on, I think it was on Hulu. And I really enjoyed the series. I had never heard of Blake Crouch at the time I watched the show. And after I watched the show, I found out it was based on a book by him. And so I decided that he was probably an author I need to check out at some point. And it's only recently that I started reading some of his standalone novels. But now I want to go back into his backlog and read the Pines trilogy. And I just can't tell you how excited I am, because I've discovered that I really like Blake Crouch. And so it's time for me to explore some of his older stuff. Even though I do want to read his newer books going forward as well, I think I need to read pretty much everything he's written. And so I'll be going back and tackling the Pines trilogy next year, hopefully. Again, this is all hypothetical, but stuff I'd really like to get to. The next one on this list is the Sun Eater series by Christopher Rocchio. Again, a Booktube Darling. Everybody raves about the Sun Eater series, and just what a magnificent science fantasy series it's supposed to be. And I do love sci-fi. I love books that blend science fiction and fantasy, and so I'm kind of excited, guys. I don't really know what to think of it. You know, this is a series that I could end up reading the first book and deciding, oh, yeah, I don't really care that much about it. I do reserve the right to DNF it, but I have a feeling that that's not going to happen. I don't know. I just have a really good gut feeling about the Sun Eater series, and a lot of people I trust love the series, so I'm going to make that a high priority to at least read book 1, which is Empire of Silence, next year. Alright, so the next one on this list, guys, is kind of a toss-up. Both of these series are written by John Gwynne, but I don't know which one to read first. My gut tells me I should probably start with the Banished Lands series, which is the original series that he wrote, but everybody's talking about the Bloodsworn saga right now as well, and how massive in scope it is, and how it's just chock full of epic battles and awesome scenes, and I've heard that about Banished Lands as well. So I'm going to put up a poll sometime here in the near future and have you guys tell me which one you think I should start with. But I definitely know I want to get to John Gwynne in 2025. I'm still kind of leaning toward the Banished Lands, but I'm open to starting with Bloodsworn first and then going backwards. So I don't know. You guys let me know. Look for that community poll. You can tell me in the comments below as well what you think I should do, but make sure to look for that community poll so you can sound off there, and that will kind of help me make the decision. The next series on this list is the Godblind series by Anna Stevens. I've had this series on my list for years. Way before I even started Booktube, I was hearing about Anna Stevens, and I think it's probably time that I check her out. I've heard really good things about the series. I don't know that much about it, what it all entails, so I'm excited to find out. Don't tell me too much about it, because I think I might want to go into this series blind. See what I did there? Godblind? Okay, never mind. Anyway, so yes, I definitely want to make that series one of my next 10 series. Alright guys, so we are moving on to the world of Dungeons and Dragons, and that, guys, is the Dragonlance series by Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman. Now, I know not all of Dragonlance is written by them, but the original novels were written by them, and I'm very much looking forward to trying it out. I've heard very mixed things, but I know I like Weis and Hickman because I absolutely adored the Deathgate cycle. So I have high hopes for the Dragonlance series. We'll see how that goes. I never read it before. All of my friends in high school were reading it because they were really into D&D, and I never really got into D&D that much, although I played a couple of campaigns and it was fine. But I prefer something a little bit more fast-paced and interactive. I don't know. So I'm looking forward to at least trying the books. And so I do want to make those a priority. In fact, I'm really going to push myself to make it a priority in 2025. And so along with that is the next series on this list, and that is The Legend of Drizzt by R.A. Salvatore. And I've also had this series on my list for the longest time. It takes place in the Forgotten Realms, which is also a Dungeons & Dragons property, I believe. And it follows the exploits of a drow, or a dark elf, known as Drizzt Do'Urden. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what that is all about. Just looking at pictures of Drizzt, he just looks so badass, and I just want to find out more about what he's about. So I don't really know much about it, but I'm willing to give it a shot. A lot of people really love the series, so I'll be looking into starting that one very soon as well, hopefully in 2025, because I said last year that I was going to start it this year, and I didn't. So I've got to start making good on what I'm saying I'm going to do, right? Alright, so we're moving on, and this is the Wickwire Watch series, and I don't know the name of the actual series, so I'm just going to call it the Wickwire Watch series. This is a new series, and I think it's self-published. It won some self-published fantasy awards for sure, and I see everybody talking about it. And so whereas some of these other series have been around for quite a while, this is a newer series, and it really sounds cool. So I'm looking forward to checking that out and seeing what it's all about. I think I will be making a lot of my BookTube friends happy that have already read it, and I want to see what all the hype's about and see if the hype is real, or at least if it's real for me. Okay, so that was number 9 on this list. The final one on this list, coming in at number 10, is the Founders Trilogy by Robert Jackson Bennett. I recently read The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett, which is his newest series, and I absolutely loved it. The writing was spectacular, the world building was so good, and I just want more. And I've heard really good things about the Founders Trilogy. I don't know if I'll like it, but I have a feeling that I will. It's got a really unique magic system based on inscriptions, from what I understand. So I'm all over that, guys, and I want to check it out. I know I could go all the way back and read his Divine Cities trilogy, but I'm kind of holding off on that one because that one didn't really speak to me the way the Founders Trilogy does, and so I'm really excited to read more of Robert Jackson's writing. So that is it, guys. That's going to be my next 10 series. That's not to say that I won't start other series besides this in 2025, because I am a mood reader and I might just get the itch to read something completely different. And so we'll see. But these are the next 10 series that I'm really excited about and I'm really hoping to get to very soon. Let me know in the comments what you think about my list. Let me know some of the new series that you're planning on embarking on in the next year or in the next couple of years. And until next time, guys, make sure you're reading more books, and I will talk with you very soon. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to my patrons. I really appreciate all you do to support my channel.